Okay, listen up. Today we are addressing or blowing the lid off one of the most popular and most misunderstood questions about language learning. And that question is, how long does it take to learn a language? Specifically, how long does it take to learn English? Because, believe me, if you think you are going to be fluent by Christmas just because you downloaded Duolingo, you're in for a bit of a nasty surprise. Let's get stuck in. You've probably heard it before. You're going to be fluent in 3 months' time. Master English while you sleep. Just watch Netflix and boom, you will absorb it by osmosis. Sure. And while I'm at it, I will learn to be a neurosurgeon in my spare time at the weekend. Let's cut the nonsense. I'm giving you the real timeline, not the timeline people tell you to sell courses. First though, let's define what we mean by learning. What does learning English actually mean for you? Because, hello, how are you, is a lot easier than, well, theoretically speaking, in my humble opinion, I would argue contrary to your belief that. So it depends what you're learning English for and how proficient you want to be. We have survival English, ordering food, asking directions, saying sorry 50 times a day. We have conversational English, making friends, telling jokes, handling small talk, professional English, surviving meetings, writing reports, giving work presentations, and you have academic English, essays, research, academia, sounding a bit like David Attenborough if you would like. And each one of these levels takes different time, different skills, and a different attitude. Let's discuss the raw numbers now, taken from the research. Basic survival English takes about 500 to 600 hours of good study. Working fluency, about 1,000 to 2,000 hours of study. Near native mastery, you're looking at 2,000 plus hours. And no, you can't just binge learn on a Saturday. I'm sorry, the brain doesn't work that way. Now, listen closely because this is the bit that no one tells you. It is not just how much you study, it's how you live with English. Imagine two people. Person A studies English 2 hours a week, forgets about it in between, and panics every time they speak. Person B studies an hour a day, speaks with friends online, watches TV in English, and even tries to think in English sometimes. Who is going to be fluent faster, person A or person B? Exactly. Learning a language is a bit like getting fit at the gym. You can't just go to the gym once and expect to have clearly defined muscles and a clearly defined six-pack. It takes work, it takes time, it takes dedication. And don't underestimate the power of your environment. Honestly, the easiest way, easy is the wrong, the best way to learn a language is total immersion. I know this isn't possible for everybody, but if you can, move to an English-speaking country where you are surrounded by the language every day. I cannot tell you how much that will help your language learning. From a personal point of view, I speak Italian. Well, it's quite rusty now, but 10 years ago, I lived in Italy. And living in Italy for that year, being surrounded by Italian speaking and Italian friends, my language shot up in a way that it never had. For example, when I learned French at school. Learning French in a classroom, rigid, textbook, I learnt Italian being surrounded by it every day, so much better. Obviously, you're not all going to be in English-speaking countries, and if you're stuck somewhere with no English speakers around you, you've got to work twice as smart. So, change your phone to English. Think in English when you're doing things, when you're driving, when you're having a shower, when you're cooking. I'm slicing the carrots now. Think of the actions you're doing. Join English-speaking groups online and watch as many programs or films in English as possible. And don't put the subtitles in your native language. put the subtitles on in English, because then you are hearing the English and seeing it written across the screen at the same time. It really helps your learning development, even if subconsciously. Make English the background music of your life. Otherwise, you'll be the person who studied English for years, but who panics when you order coffee at Starbucks. Now, let me tell you a story. I knew someone, an Italian, who moved to London, barely spoke a word of English. He worked at a cafe and understood 3 phrases: sorry, one moment, and thank you. That was it. But every single day he listened, he copied expressions, he asked questions, and he risked looking silly, but he didn't care. And fast forward 18 months, he is joking with customers, he's running the till, even arguing about football with the locals. Was he perfect by these 18 months? No. But actually, sometimes perfectionism can be the enemy of good, as the expression goes. For me, when I want to speak Italian perfectly, the more self-conscious I am about making mistakes, the worse I speak it. To be honest, the best I speak when speaking another language is when I'm a little bit drunk, because then my inhibitions have gone and I just talk. And that's how you need to try and be with your English. Don't worry about making mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. It's not your mother tongue. And, spoiler, even people whose mother tongue is English make mistakes. Watch this video to see just how often. But that doesn't matter. The more you speak, the more you try, the less inhibition you feel, the more you will learn. So, how long does it take to learn English? It depends. It depends on the level of proficiency you want to reach. It depends how similar your mother tongue is to English. It depends how much time you can dedicate towards it. It depends how proficient you are at language learning, whether you have a natural ability, a natural gift with languages. There are so many variables, but you can speed up your journey to fluency if you surround yourself in the way that we have discussed. And here is the raw truth. You don't ever finish learning English if it is not your mother tongue. You never finish learning a language if it's not your mother tongue, or even sometimes if it is your mother tongue. Just like you don't finish going to the gym, it's a journey. It's an ongoing journey. You get better, stronger, more comfortable, but there is always the next level, another level. And that's the good thing, because every conversation, every mistake, every awkward little moment you survive, you're getting closer to real fluency. And I don't mean necessarily mother tongue fluency. Mother tongue fluency is different, but if you can communicate and make yourself understood easily, that's pretty impressive when it's not your mother tongue. So, how long does it really take to learn English? Let's answer the question I have teased in the title of this video. The short answer: long enough to separate the people who say they want it from the people who work for it. And if you're here watching this, I know which type of person you are. You are probably one of the ones who's going to make it. If you're serious about your English learning journey, make sure you subscribe, because this channel can help you on the way. And tell me in the comments, what's your #1 goal with English this year? I'm cheering for you.